Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Middle-Aged Gamer speaking, and welcome to everyone. Basically, thank you very much for your support in the other videos, and I look forward to doing a heck of a lot more of these as we go through. Now today we're going to look at one of the primaries I own in my collection. It is the 2021 Umarex HK MP5K PDW version 2, which, to be honest, is their best they've ever done. It's had all the improvements that they've learned along the way, and even from as recent as the version 2 A5 full-size edition and their SD, there's a few improvements over that. So with that said, let's have a look at this gun. Now, if I pick it up from here, as you can see, it's in my case, as this is one of my primaries. You can see on the buttstock you've got your H&K. This is a nylon fiber polymer stock with a steel core tang, which goes to about here inside. The stock itself is lovely and thin, but it has a lovely ridge at the back, just like the real steel. It's been authentically recreated. From that steel core, you can see it's attached to here, which is a steel bracket, and the steel butt plate. The actual pins are steel. Basically, everything you see here that's metal is steel, which that is already a plus in my book to get the realism there. Now from there, you will move to the body. As you can see, you got all the real welds. These are properly welded. This body was actually pressed on an actual HK press. It is stamped sheet metal, which is exact to the real. Trying to replicate the proper dimensions and quality. As you can see there, you can see the unique serial number and some of the actual proof marks, including the German antlers. I've put a SEMA claw mount on there with a RMR. The actually does say MP5 under it. It's all stamped incorrectly, but sadly covered by that. One thing I will mention, that anything that's one-to-one, i.e. real buttstocks or SEMA or VFC or anything like that that has one-to-one dimensions will fit this gun. Now, with that said, as you can see, the polymer grip is hollow, just like the real, and again is nylon fiber. With that, we'll go to the fire selector, which, as you can see, is safe, semi, full auto. So it's basically the Navy SEAL spec, or the early type. From there, you can see you've got your 9x19, and if I can flip this gun around, you should also see made in Germany. So one of the good things about the markings on this gun is it is really close to the real. You have the proper made in Germany, HK, and instead of it saying licensed by Umarex, it just says licensed trademark of Heckler & Koch, which is the correct markings as far as I'm aware. Now, from there, you go from the steel receiver to the steel charging handle. The cocking tube is one of the improvements that this one has. It's actually steel now. One of the other fellow YouTubers out there, a good friend, is he has the A5 variant of this, and that came with an alloy cocking tube, which would snap after doing the HK slap. This one doesn't, so you can do it all day long. The front sight steel, end cap steel, sling loop steel, polymer front grip, and that's hiding your hot chamber, which we'll get to when I do the takedown. Steel tri-lug muzzle with a 14mm, if I'm right, it should be counterclockwise, but it's jumped on there. There you go. 14mm counterclockwise thread if you wish to use it. If you're using a tri-lug adapter, some brands might require you to take this off because it's a little bit slightly wider, like 1/1000th of an inch wider. Now, like I say, with that said, as you say, you get your diopter steel sights at the rear, which can be, I would say, raised for windage and, I would say, elevation. It's overall a pretty good gun. Now, with the gun comes the magazine. Now, the magazine supplied is a dual stack, dual feed system, just like the real one. You have a polymer follower with a metal insert inside the actual polymer molded in, which is kind of good for rigidity because it does feature a bolt stop. Now, we'll get to that part again when I do the bolt inside. Your actual valve here, your fill valve at the back. They've done a good job. Now, to see if they've done a good job, here is a real MP5 magazine. And if I put them side by side, try and get them there, you can see they've got your witness holes at the back, although there's no round so you can't see. The base plate, they've used the same hole at the bottom but put a fill valve there. You have all the same tabs. Now, to prove that this is real, figure there, MP5HK, your serial number there. As you can see, these are inert rounds. They've got the primer stroke. They mainly use for demonstration, but this is a real HK mag. And basically, weight-wise, they're almost identical. You would struggle on a good day to find a difference between the two in weight. The benefit of the V2 mag on this gun is the efficiency size. You're going to get about 5 magazines of BB, so that's 30 rounds times that by 5 on one fill of gas. That's here in the United Kingdom, where I am currently residing, and, you know, that's not bad for a heavy bolt gas blowback, you know, full steel construction, etc., which is really good. Now, with that said, let's do a chronograph test. Okay, I'm using 0.2 gram BBs and green gas. Okay, let's lock the charging handle. There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can do a rate of fire. I'm not sure if we've got enough BBs left, but let's see. Nope, not enough, but it's still decent enough. Okay. Hello, okay, we're back. Now we've got it on the table, let's prime the handle. So we get the hammer down, always the best thing to do. And we'll punch the pins out and tear this sucker down. Now the lower pin is always the hardest one on this rear one for some reason. Don't know why, it just seems to be that way. But we can get hold of the top one. We can pull that one out. And that should allow me now to gain access here and hopefully give it a good smack out now. Hang on. There it goes. Alright, so we can pop that pin out. Now, if I remove the stock, as you can see, you've got your proper rubber little shock buffer there at the back. It's a nice hefty steel construction. It's really nice. And it's just a lift and turn. It's quite nice. Now with that done, we have the right now to be able to pull out the front pin, and because the hammer's down, I can lower this out. Now, as you can see, this is your fire control group. This gun is 100% compatible with version 1 trigger groups if you have one, but you'll want the version 2 because it is a lot more realistic on its takedown. As you can tell, you get your nice positive clicks. The sears, springs, pins are all steel. The hammer is an alloy along with the guide rod for the hammer. That is alloy. The striker is a big chunky polymer striker, but it has a metal core in the middle for rigidity, which is another good thing. As you can see, you can find where the gun will wear in over time. You get that with all gas blowback guns and real steel. They all have a wearing period. But yeah, all you see is a steel. Now, as you can see, the marks there on the hammer, they're basically, it's just cosmetic, I guess. It's in top, it's like surface scratches. There's nothing there. That was due to your first 500 rounds, which I'll get to now. I've got the gun here. Let's have a look. Whoop. That is obviously the inner pin, which is a cool thing. There's your guide tube for it. That locks it in. That's for your magazine release. But if I push that back, you can pull out your bolt. Now this bolt fits really snugly in there. It's a steel buffer, steel guide rod, steel spring, steel adjustable cap at the end, just FYI, but it's quick to remove that and take the recoil rod off. But yeah, the bolt itself is an alloy, and that's a aluminum housing for your polymer nozzle. Now your polymer nozzle has a metal insert here now for reinforcement. But all in all, it's cool. You have access to remove the nozzle from here at the back. You just get a needle nose pliers, pop it in, turn it and undo the cap. But you can see here on the back, because it was such a tight fit and you were wearing in the, how to say, the rails on your first 500 rounds, especially if you're using just a little bit of gas in there and you're letting it go right the way down, it might not go completely into battery on your last few shots, and therefore if you drop the hammer, which is what I did, you will scratch the hammer and make it look like it's marked, but it's not. With that said, as I can say, I don't know if I can get it here on camera, but that is a dual feed ramps. There's 2 ramps there for it, which is phenomenal. Now if I pop this front pin, let's see if I can get it out. Okay. That's what she says. Comments in the comment section, please. Let's see if I move it out of the way. Again, this being still new, pins are very hard, but will loosen over time. They always do. So you just pop that one out, and we can drop the handguard. You have a very positive clicky wheel here for your hop adjust. You have a steel outer barrel, steel sling loop, steel front. Like I say, they really went to town on this gun to give you the best, how would you say, replica airsoft that they could. And it shows, because everything that they've done so far has just been phenomenal. It really has. So let's see if we can put this all back together again. That's if I have not messed it up, which I usually do. So we put that in there. Okay. And we should be able to put this little bar retaining pin, whatever we want to call it. Should just fit through. There you go. Yep, that's all in. And then we grab the bolt right way, make sure the charging handle's all the way home. Let's put that through, grab our pistol grip, insert the front end. You don't need to do it all the way because it lines up better when you don't. Click that there. That's on there. Get the buttstock, put that in there. And what we'll do is we'll grab the top pin first, because that's the best one to retain it. And then your bottom pin is easier to line up and fit in. And just to make sure you've got it in properly, you grab your punch and you give it a good smack. Unless I put it in wrong, which has been known. If I get my other punch, let's see. Wide ahead. I'll check it is. Yep, she's coming through. Okay. There we go. Yep, and that is done. So, with that said, it's a really good gun. As you can see, performance is great. The cooldown is very good for a gas blowback. I've seen plenty of them that are just naff. To be honest with you, like I say, the last gas blowback I had was the WE one, and it still makes me cringe every time I say I had that, because it is absolutely garbage. And it's actually more expensive than this. The price of this, you will find so many different prices online, so it's good to shop around. And it's one thing I will tell you. You can, like I say, as well at the front, fit the SEMA handguard. Like I say, all furniture is SEMA compatible with their handguard and buttstocks and claw mounts. Some modification might be needed depending on the age of the SEMA product, etc., and what brand, because they do so many. But if it's their high-end one, it should fit. Like I say, I've had no issues, but it can be easily proven wrong with that one. But other than that, like I say, this gun is phenomenal. It is the best MP5 representation, like I say, by far. Everything is easy removable. The inner barrel is maple leaf compatible, i.e. you can just go get one of them. That's I'm not sure if it's a rifle or pistol style, but they do it. The hard booking is the same. You can get them. To be honest, I due to the weather today, can't show you, but the accuracy at 30 meters is approximately 6 inches spread on full auto. Semi-auto, you can nail that down to between 3 and 4 inches. That's Marui spec, that's really Marui accuracy out of the box, and yet this is not Marui. This is Umarex's product, So yeah, I was really impressed by the accuracy. You know, if you want to see more and you have any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm just hanging around here in cyberspace. So, like I say, I've been Middle Aged Gamer. And this has been the MP5K PDW version 2 from Umarex. Have a great day.